I've been told that the LMP2 cars in Automobilista 2 are some of the best cars according to the people's opinions, and these people who have said this are also people who really like Le Mans Ultimate and their handling. So today I'm going to test and see how the Orca 07 compares in Automobilista 2 to Le Mans Ultimate. And this is a follow-up on last week's episode, which was on GT3s. So if you haven't, look up that on my channel. So today, as I said, we're going to try the Orca 07 in AMS2 and LMU. And we're going to drive it at the same track as the GT3s, which is Sebring. So let's get into Automobilista 2 and see how the cars handle. So now we are in the car in Automobilista 2. And we're going to see how they drive. So from the start, they feel very planted, which is what you expect from this type of car. Though they do, you can visually see how the weight shifts. And then just a few pointers why I believe this car seems to be quite highly praised is because this car, which we can see here going through here hopefully, is quite planted, as you saw there. So that could be one of the main reasons why it's very liked in this game. Then also this version is the LMP2 Gen 2 of Automobilista 2, which means it doesn't run unrestricted. It has a specific restrictor which restricts power, and I believe they're also a bit heavier, so they are not too quick compared to the Le Mans hypercars. And I believe at Le Mans they have similar regulations. I don't know if it's exactly the same limits on power and torque and weight, so it might be a bit different there, but then the Le Mans GT3s, they're also different, so it won't be that bad of a difference, I think. But in general, with these cold tires, the car does feel very good. I'm probably not pushing it too hard, but I do feel like there is a bit less performance than what I'm used to. But what I really like, which you could see there in these cars, is you can really do a lot of trail braking in Automobilista 2. Whilst with the GT3 cars in Automobilista 2, you can't really trail brake because of some weird issue. I don't know how realistic that is though, but I prefer these because then you can actually brake deeper into corners, which is what I like to do. So now with the tires getting up to temp, I feel like they have a bit more performance. I can push the car quite hard. Like through that corner, in some cars you usually have quite a few issues, but in this one with heated tires you can really take that very well. But as you also saw there, if you try and brake a bit too hard, then you will lock up the brakes. So you can have still that issue with that the limit when braking, at least you can't fully feel it. It feels a bit weird, but I bet that's just my driving. But going on throttle, it feels really good. You feel a slight twitchiness in the vehicle, but nothing major. Then through there it's really nice. It feels very planted, so you can just push it. And then on the throttle, I feel like there's that slight... The start, when going on throttle, you have a little bit of movement, and then it just stops. So I don't know fully if that's due to the traction control or what it is. But what's also interesting is, since the time we uploaded... No, I uploaded this video, Project Motor Racing has been revealed. I've already pre-ordered it, so you know, so I will make a review of it when it comes out. But as it seems currently, it feels very much like Automobilista 2. But I will get to that a bit later on in the video after I've done the test, because there are a few interesting pointers which can be discussed. But before that, let's jump into LMU and see how it handles there. Just a quick comment before we come into Le Mans Ultimate. It seems like an issue which has been there since day one hasn't been fixed, and that's it not like in River Tuner super sampling, I think the SS stands for. But still, it's not so good looking at it, because I have a few issues with a few games with not running River Tuner. It makes it so I can't run the game, so Le Mans Ultimate is... Hopefully Motorsport Games can fix it now that they are $2.5 million richer. But at least if I don't have on River Tuner, hopefully my camera will work, and hopefully the game works. But until we get into into Le Mans Ultimate, please hit the like button and also subscribe if you like this video. I highly appreciate it. But now we are in Le Mans Ultimate. And for those who might care, I have made this livery in Automobilista 2. Well, not the these specific colors, but the Nielsen Racing style. So if anyone out there wants me to maybe make it for everyone, make this type of print, this colors, just put a comment down there. But now I'm fed up, so let's just head off. I forgot how long the pit exit is, and I went the wrong path. But let me just okay, I can't really reverse, it seems. I have to go like this. So, now it should work. That was a bit of an issue, but now we're on the track. This game is slightly louder than Automobilista 2. Oh, and these tires, yeah. These tires are absolutely deadly when going out. So that's a big difference. These tires are deadly when they are cold. Like in Automobilista 2, you could still actually drive. But these tires, oh my days. They are cold and they are not grippy. Okay, so the lockup sound seems to be a bit after actually locking up. And it doesn't seem to be quite as intense as Automobilista 2. Which is a comment I had on my video from 2 weeks ago, I think it is. If I just brake at that spot. Okay, so still cold. But yeah, you can see here, when getting on the power, it feels like there's no lateral movement. And as I stated before, I have no idea how realistic that is. But to me, when going on throttle, even though the car has traction control, it seems a bit weird that there is no real limit which you can feel. Like there is a bit of movement, but that wasn't me going wide, so I don't know. was also that issue. Not as big of an issue, but still. I tried to take this corner roughly normal speed because it felt like it could, but no. So it seems like the tires are most deadly at through medium speed corners when you're decelerating. So like here, I do get pushed out wide, so I can't really go on the throttle. And the tires take time to heat up. People like to discuss that pneumatic sound. I believe it's pneumatic. From the air pump. It's in this in LMU2, so it's not really unrealistic and weird. It can be weird, but not unrealistic. Okay, so it felt better then. So still, the tires are taking a long time to heat up in these cars. That's like one of the main differences, I would say, in Automobilista 2. Going out of that corner, it feels a lot like Automobilista 2. We're slow speed, turning a bit, and then going on traction control, you feel like there's a bit of grip loss. You can feel that edge. So that's nice to know, at least. But then if you just go in a straight line, you just go boom. And that, I don't know, it's probably right, but it feels a bit odd in my opinion. That could be me, my Automobilista 2 brain talking. But it does feel odd. I can just stamp on the throttle like that in this car and just have no lateral movement.
That time was a 1:59.53.
Disqualified, I don't care. Oh. So basically, I feel like I've done enough to know what the difference are. So let me just jump into the camera and tell you. So between Automobilista 2 and Le Mans Ultimate, what are the main differences? Well, in Le Mans Ultimate, the tires take a long time to heat up, and the tires also have a lot more grip. No, lot more grip, yes, when cold in Automobilista 2. But that could also be because of the thermodynamics, that they are maybe not as cold and don't heat up as quickly. So that could be a different point, that Automobilista 2 tires maybe just get heat up too quickly. I don't know fully, but it seems to me like in Automobilista 2 maybe the tires should be a bit colder, maybe heat up a lot slower, and also have a lot less grip when cold. Because in Le Mans Ultimate, yeah, the tires, yikes, you couldn't push. And I also read, I think it was, that LMH cars, or LMDH cars GTP in IMSA, when they were in the Daytona 24 Hours, I think, last year, they said when coming out on cold tires through the corners, they were as quick as LMGT3 cars, GTD cars for IMSA, through the corners. So there's a very negative. There's a lot of reduction to the performance of the tires when they're cold. So that could be something interesting to talk about. But then another interesting point which I want to just quickly discuss is this Project Motor Racing, which I've pre-ordered. I'm just saying it again. They have based their physics, as I understand it, upon the Lister Storm, which is an old GT1 car. So they have the real version, they have the digital version, and they have run tests around Silverstone, the GP led, I think, in the Lister Storm with a lot of data collecting and all of these things to collect data. So I assume the Lister Storm in Project Motor Racing and real life will be very close in feeling, But that also means that the basis of the physics will be based on a lot of real life data. So what does that mean in practice? Well, recently the overtake team and the traction team and other people like Gamer Muscle and I think Random Callsign got to go there and to Zurich airport, sort of airport, and got to try it. And they had a lot of comments. Well, I've watched the traction and overtake video. I don't care about the others. And as I understand it, the physics of Project Motor Racing is a lot like the physics in AMS2. So as you can see, it's quite tricky. You have to, the wheel moves a lot. You can't really, the cars don't feel super planted. And then the traction control has a few issues, which they've said they won't change super much, but I feel like the traction control in that game is weird currently. So that's something interesting. But in general, TLDW, TLDR, what you want to call it, the physics in AMS2 and Project Motor Racing seem to be very close. So that's why I have high hopes for it, because it will be very interesting to drive them. But what do you think? Comment down below. Once you're down there, please hit the like button and also subscribe. My next video, we'll have to see what it's on, because my my GT3 car comparison went quite well in terms of views. This video, if it goes well, then I'll do the reviews on the other cars, because you have the LMDH cars, hopefully an LMH soon with a Aston Martin, and then you also have the GTE cars. So I have 2 videos which I can do on those. Then otherwise, I don't think I have any full ideas. I have my liveries, which I'm currently working on, which you can't see. But yeah, I've done videos on that, so we'll have to see. But until then, I've been Racing Legend, you've been my amazing viewers. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!